it is a game of time. The longer you're in it, the more money you make.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Elite Agent Secrets show. Today we've got Gavin Shank with us, and he's been in real estate for 7 years, done over 100 million in sales and got a 14-person team. Now last year in 2021, did about 45 million. But what's so impressive about that is the average price point is about 157,000 per unit. So the man can sell fucking units. Gavin's going to come and unpack how he's doing that. He's going to be covering 3 different topics today about positive attitude, understanding your market, and working on his schedule. Gavin, thank you for coming on the show with us today and agreeing to share your secrets to success.
Well, thank you for having me. This is going to be fun. So I'll let you kind of start off. We'll go from there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. One of the things that I thought was very important that Andrew highlighted this is your average price point, because at that average price point, that really puts things into perspective of how many deals and how many units you're actually doing, right? Because there's a difference between doing that volume and let's say your average price point being 5, 6, or 700,000, like it is in some markets, mine included, versus it being, 170-ish, give or take. So you didn't get here overnight. So let's give the audience a little bit of context about why you made the bad decision about getting into real estate and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, take us back 7 years and 1 day ago.
7 years and 1 day. So I spent the majority of my life working in the insurance industry as what they call a catastrophe adjuster. Okay, so my function was to go to different storms and help people get back to the position they were prior to this massive event happening. So things like Katrina and Wilma and different hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, mudslides, things like that. And I got tired of the travel and I was ready to spend some time with my family. So I decided one day when I was home that I'm going to get into real estate. And at the same time, I'd already been flipping homes because my function was reconstruction, more from a desk than anything, but reconstruction of homes. And that's what brought me into the industry. And that's kind of all she wrote at this point for that. I got into it and I found that there was something missing that wasn't as grand as we thought. And what was really missing is agents understanding that they can do better. And if they take their skills and tools and put them in a timely manner, they can achieve whatever amount of income they want in their market. But it takes time. My first year, I sold 36 houses, which isn't a ton. It's not a ton of units.
Hold on. Okay, there you go. That's the important factor that you have to highlight, because 36 houses, that's a lot of fucking houses, okay? Yeah. Most agents, I think the averages are, most agents will do less than like 5 or 6. An average agent, whether they're seasoned or they've been in the business for a while, it's like the salary is $48K, right? So when you say 36 units, that's a little bit of volume.
But when we get into that, we've even evolved more than where we started from. So if we fast forward to a few years ago, I started bringing in new agents. So there's not an agent that works with me that doesn't make that 6-figure goal that's been with me for more than 30 months.
Love that.
But the reason is because of the 3 things that we're talking about today: positive attitude, understanding your market, and being able to work your schedule. If you can't do those 3 things, how are you able to function long-term and with a high output? Because you have to have balance in there, right?
Right.
What's this
So,
balance that you speak of? What's balance?
that's the big issue too. We talk balance. We speak of balance. Most agents, they work 7 days a week. They try to work 10 hours a day in between balancing home life and family, not taking a day off from real estate, not understanding that they can build a schedule that allows them to have different showing times throughout the day, different times to make phone calls, and different times to turn off their phone and set it down and walk away.
Yeah.
The last one, I'm still trying to figure out. So any insight would be very helpful. But yes, 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. That's called very on the brink of getting a divorce.
Right. Right.
Especially like I have a wife, 2 kids, a new dad, now trying to figure out what that looks like. So I'm happy that you're telling me that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because I sure as hell don't see it in the moment right now.
Well, I will tell you, in my opinion, it's just mine. The positive attitude, when we look at positive attitude, we have to be positive to have a positive attitude, right? We have to enjoy our business. If we are always doing our business, we begin to drag. We begin to slow down because we have nothing in life we're doing but working and trying to take care of family at the same time. And that's impossible. So, setting some boundaries on our life, and I always joke and say, most people draw a line in the sand on their boundaries. I put it in concrete. So, having a point in the evening, my phone goes off at 8:00 every night. It powers down. I don't touch it again until the next day at 9:00. Period.
So you're that you don't scroll on Instagram before you go to bed and compromise at all?
Nope. I don't compromise at all. But now, granted, you could have another device. I have agents that work with me and they're like, hey, I still want to do that. Okay, well, open your own device, your extra, but keep work, and home. You can't be on 24/7. You just can't be on and have that high expectation of great customer service 24/7. It's just impossible. And not taking a day off, to me, is the biggest mistake. You have to take one day. Now, I'm not saying you have to take a Saturday or Sunday off, but everybody here that works with me, we all want 1 day a week off. We need 1 day a week off. We need to spend that time with our families. We need to spend that time doing the errands we need to do. Because when we're working, we're working. When that 10:00 hits, I'm in my office, that's real work time. And that's where we get into that scheduling and the fun of the scheduling, because you're scheduling times to find clientele and you're scheduling times. You already know your showing times. If you hadn't filled those blocks, well, you're not doing a showing that day. So your goal every day is to fill those showing blocks, listing appointments the day before. So you step into that new day with a plan and you're ready to attack it.
What does your day breakdown look like?
No. I'm going to cut you off there because we're going to skip around here like mental. Before we go into that, what I want to do is we covered year one. Give us a very quick synopsis of like year one, year two, year three, and then kind of jump ahead to last year, which was 45 mil with regards like production. And did it scale gradually, linearly, exponentially? How did that look? And how did the whole pandemic kind of treat your business? And then I want to dive into topic one and not topic three, Pia.
All right. Jump over back and forth all day. Yeah. So, first year, 36 units, learn the business, understand the business. Easy, as long as you're disciplined. Second year, 40, 50 units, really understanding things. Brought in a couple of people to start they were new to real estate. They were having some troubles. They were asking what I did. I said, yeah, come on and, I'll show you. And they worked with me for a while. One still does. The other one actually went and started his own company, his own team up. So good for him. We want people to evolve. We want them to do well. The only person we're in competition with is ourselves. Year three, we ended up with a massive hurricane in Florida and Texas and all that. And I actually put real estate on pause and stepped away and went and worked that. And then when I came back, I was ready. I was ready to get crazy. I brought in, 3 people, 3 more people. That put us at 5 and started running from there. And then this year, My production has went down greatly. My goal this year is to do one a week. But at the same time, I'm training 8 new realtors. So that acquires a lot more time. So you can't have both. You have to learn to manage your time and what your expectations are for those. So that's kind of my quick rundown of everything. We've gradually grown as far as numbers go every year, a minimum of 20% every year.
Every year. Nice. So that's what we like to hear. And yeah, you're building leverage, which is ultimately what everyone should be trying to achieve. I say should be because it's a bridge that you got to cross, and there's hurdles that I think everyone takes the challenge differently. One of the big ones, I know we're not discussing it today, we might touch on it briefly, is about the whole hiring recruiting process and outsourcing, like time, building leverage that way, because we've heard some amazingly different strategies. Some people who've had agents with them, and they obviously do a good job, who've been with them like 12 years. Multi-6-figure agents love it, and they've had this strategy. A lot of people have a bulk strategy, commission. So many different ways to skin the cat, and I think that's the beauty of the show, and all the other guests, we kind of get to unpack that. But what I want to do is I want to unpack your first topic, because that's what we're here for. We're here for your 3 secrets. So right. Your first one is having a positive attitude. So unpack why that is one of your secrets for us.
Well, the positive attitude's a must. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not having fun. You're not having fun, your clients aren't going to have fun. And, if you're negative, they're negative. If you're positive, they're positive. If they're negative and you're positive, guess what you just did? You made them positive. Okay? By waking up each day knowing that I need to smile while I'm talking on the phone, I know personally, because I tracked the numbers for long enough, that if I smile, I'll get a lot more yeses than I get nos. I just know for a fact. So the positive attitude's a must. You have to be happy with what you're doing. You have to enjoy showing homes. And if you're not enjoying showing homes, you need to take a step back, take a break, because you've burnt, and find a way to become positive again in this business, because this is an amazing business. And if we look at what we do, we're helping people acquire the largest investment item of their life. This is what sets people up for life. Real estate is more than just a home. It is an investment tool for life. And if we're going to help people do well, we need to be happy while we do it. I've never been anywhere where I wanted to buy something from a negative person. How about you guys?
That is so well said. And it's like one of those things where it's like trying to buy something from somebody who's negative just doesn't work. Right? No. Half the battle, I feel like, is bring the positive attitude, because it's not a matter of if shit hits the fan on a transaction. It's a matter of when shit hits the fan. And if it is raining and you can still say there's a little bit of sunshine right behind that cloud, you can pretty much get through anything and everything on a transaction, no matter the circumstances, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you hit one of the items that I love. I am not allowed to be upset more than 15 minutes about a deal, because if it crashed and burned, it crashed and burned. I mean, I did everything I can do to keep it together. I would do everything I can do to get it to the finish line. But if it doesn't, I didn't get a check, we didn't go to closing, we move it on. We're done. 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes to be frustrated, and then you got to move on. Because if you let every little deal and every little hiccup ruin your day, you are not going to have any fun. Okay? There are things out of our control. It is not our credit. It is not our cash, and it is not our loan. It is their home that they are trying to acquire. And we can only do our best to get them ready. And they can choose, the clientele can choose if they're going to listen to us or not. And to be quite frank, if they don't want to listen to us, I don't work with them, to be honest with you. I want to work with people who are ready, proactive, and ready to move forward. I do not want to work with people who aren't getting pre-approvals and aren't doing the things they need to do to be ready when they walk in the door to write an offer. And that's how positivity really works. You're positive about things because you're working with people who are positive with you about getting things done.
I love it. You bring up an interesting point here, because as a new agent or as a seasoned agent, I think we all can forget what our process looks like. and we can all kind of get away from it, right? Like one of the things I know I struggle with is like you make these quote unquote compromises. One of the things I'm picking up is like you don't make those compromises. So here's my process. I explain it to you. It seems like you set expectations right out the gate. And if they don't like it, it's totally A-okay. But the reason why you're able to also do so many units so effectively and efficiently in such a short amount of time is because you have things dialed in. So you don't want to work with somebody who's going to give you a hard time, because the process and everything after you start working with them pretty much it's going to happen. There's no way around it. It's going to fall apart, right?
Well, there's deals you start out and you go, okay, this is going to be difficult, but this family is willing to work to get what they want. So, and they're listening. So let's give it a try. Let's go. It's going to be difficult, but let's go. That's great. But if you're starting out with this is going to be difficult and they're not paying attention to what we're doing and how, my goal is to help them with their purchase or help them with their listings, either or. I'm one of those weird people. I don't care which side of the transaction I'm on. I just want to be on the transaction. Okay. Of course, listing base is always more important. We can get into that all day long, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about prospecting. We're talking about, what makes this work. And you have to work with people who are wanting the same goal as you. Their goal is to buy a home. And my goal is to help them buy that home they want as quickly, efficiently, and effectively for them. Period. Save them the most amount of money. How do we save them money? We don't run them through 20 different home inspections. We know what they want when we get there. We know what they're looking for. We sit down and say, what do you want? And how are we going to get that? And we can have that true life conversation of affordability before we even start walking into homes and setting expectations on different levels, which you'll never meet if you don't do that.
So as you're going throughout the transaction, it seems like you're setting very clear expectations. What are some of the things, tactics? Because I know this is going to be a question that we get all the time. It's like, how do you stay positive other than I just do, right? Like, do you listen to some amazing motivational audiobooks and get yourself amped up and ready for the day? Do you tell yourself like things can't get any worse? Like, what are some of the tactics or techniques that in that 15 minutes, because I know when shit's hitting the fan, 15 minutes seems like a very short and long time at the same time. And I've had those oh shit moments where I'm like, got to get out of this funk. I got to get on another call. It's been longer than 15 minutes and I'm still thinking about the shit that hit the fan, even though now I've already switched gears to a different client.
For me, it's not difficult because the next client is the next dollar. A deal is not a deal until it closes. So it's part of that mindset of understanding you are going to lose deals. Every deal will not close. And part of my thought is a lot of people, they'll get somebody under contract and they'll start the process and they will forget to do the other things they should be still doing because there's no guarantee that deal's going to close. So when you get the deal, you shouldn't stop everything in life and say, I have one deal, I'm going to manage that one deal until it closes. You should maintain as if that deal isn't going to close. And then, your expectations are what differs. That's what makes things difficult. My expectations is it's not a deal until we hit the closing table. So if things go south and we were hoping for better outcomes, well, that's life.
It's one of the major keys, one of the major problems with business, and this is just a rookie error, and we've all done it. It's that you prospect to find clients. When you get clients, you focus on now nurturing them, and you stop prospecting. And when they either fall through or close, irrespective, you've now got nothing else in the pipeline. And then you're like, "Fuck, I've got to start the prospecting again." It's like you should just never. The golden rule is you never ever stop prospecting because there's no such thing as too much business. You can refer it out. You're in this wonderful game called real estate. There's another agent who'll take it off your hand, right? Just never, ever, ever stop prospecting.
Never. 4 days a week, 2.5 hours a day, I'm prospecting every week. That is my function. That's what feeds my family, and that's the way I look at it. I understand we don't want to prospect. I understand prospecting makes people unhappy. I don't understand how. I don't understand why. I mean, yeah, it's no fun to sit there and dial people all day long. But at the same time, you get through so many no's, you start getting to the yeses. And when you get to the yeses, that's money.
Interesting that you say that. So you spend 2.5 hours per day on prospecting. What do you do? Right? Like some people are going to say, "Oh, like how do I prospect?"
Well, and that's up to you. See, that's the wonderful thing about this business. There's a million different ways to prospect. You could go knock on a door on a beautiful day and walk through a neighborhood and hang some door hangers. You could go and pull up a list of all those for sale by owners and make some phone calls. You can look and see, what some houses that are newly listed on the market, if anybody's looking to maybe have one of their friends move into that home. I mean, you don't know if you don't talk to people. We do a fun thing here, which is every week, any agents that work with me, they have to bring in 3 organically taken leads. And what we mean by that, it's a little different is you met them from getting your hair done. You met them from getting groceries at the store. You met them from pumping gas. And it's a game we play. And at the end of the year, we tally them up and who had the most deals just from random people because they took the initiative to have a discussion. I joke about it, but I hadn't bought a car where I hadn't sold 3 or 4 houses from yet. I don't get a haircut from somebody my barber sends me more business than probably anybody. But why? Because I'm always happy. I'm there to see them. And it's a business. It's a networking business. It takes time to build, but it is a game of time. The longer you're in it, the more money you make.
Barbers and hairdressers are the greatest at generating deals because if you just think about, if you're listening to this and you haven't done this, just think about it conceptually. And it's like, how many people do they see per day? Not like it's a lot. And you think there's, the people that own it, and it's like, there is a lot of opportunity. You broker deals with them and they're getting a little bit of the commission from every deal you send them. It's like, that's a lot in comparison with what they do.
For me, it's not even that. We're brokering business. I'm sending them clients to get their hair done, and they're sending me clients to sell their homes. I mean, it's a great deal.
You got a great deal then. You broke an amazing deal.
But that's the way it works. I mean, I go get a new cell phone from the Verizon guy. He's selling on commission over here at the store. I'm like, hey, we're doing things. And he said, I hand him a card. I'm like, here's a card. Do you know anybody who needs any real estate? Let me know. He goes, actually, I'm thinking about looking. So we're showing them houses right now. We'll sell them a house in the next few weeks. If you're an agent, your elevator speech is the most important speech you can ever have. And if you're not sharpening that every day, you need to be.
So speaking of,
hold on, Andrew. Let's put you on the spot, Gavin. What does your elevator speech look like for anybody who doesn't have
my elevator speech look like? I'll tell you, it's so simple, you wouldn't even believe it. So, I heard you're looking to, what's your name? Just respond so you can start me up. You got to start me up. My name's Gavin. Go ahead.
Hey, Gavin, I'm Pete. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Pete. Pete, what you doing today?
Just hanging out, have a few podcast interviews with my bud Andrew.
Hey,
yeah.
So what do you do for a living, Pete?
So actually, we sell cars.
Oh, excellent. I sell real estate. Have you been looking for any real estate lately, Pete?
I'm always looking. It seems like I can't find any deals in this market.
I know, it's crazy. You know what? I'll tell you what, Pete, you said you hadn't been able to get any deals. Would you like to swing over by my office? We could sit down. I could set you up to be proactive instead of reactive and win the next home you go by, or at least have a better chance of getting that.
Yeah, I think that would actually be quite nice. I've never really sat down with anybody. I've just been looking by myself on Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the other non-working websites.
Well, Pete, I'm available either 10 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 6 o'clock. What works best for you? My times are already pre-done. So you never have to worry about scheduling. You guys follow that?
There we go. listeners, free coaching, elite agent secrets.
I like that because you have the dedicated times already, so you know what's in your schedule, so you can really just go right into it.
You go right in. Don't be afraid to ask. I see people, they get all nervous and well, if you're nervous, you haven't practiced enough. Agents, I love our business, but if agents want to do better, they have to practice their trade. Firefighters practice, police officers practice, pilots practice, attorneys, they practice their speeches. Everybody practices who's a true professional. And we have to practice. We have to spend, and it's not a lot of time. I take 45 minutes out of my day every day to practice, to make sure that I'm ready. Now, I might not be as sharp as someone who's been in the business for 20 years or 25 years. I'm still fairly new. But at the same time, I know if I ask somebody for a deal, I'm either going to get it or not. And if I don't, I probably don't want to work with them anyway, so I'm okay.
Yeah. And you're getting plenty of deals, so you know a thing or two about that, Gavin. I'll tell you for nothing. Oh, and by the way, would you consider yourself a maverick? Are you an agent, team leader, broker owner who's constantly striving, pushing boundaries and smashing goals? Well, we've already helped over 100 agents cross $100,000 and up in GCI per year. So if you're interested in learning more about our courses and coaching to help you scale your business, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.